All right, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show, giving you the politics behind the greatest moves in the stock market, and it is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, so today is December 14th, and welcome to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and of course we are also live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. And just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button and hit that share button. And of course you can comment live during the show on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So please comment and say hi if nothing else. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling. And if you'd like, you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. And there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. So, all right, on today's show, we're going to be talking, of course, about the futures update. We're going to be talking about the UK confirming an Omicron death. Oh, my goodness. We're going to be talking about Motor Trend picking Rivian as their number one truck. We're going to be talking about Apple hitting $3 trillion, Hawaii real estate prices and how they're going up. We're also going to be talking about the Harley-Davidson electric bikes. Rent is rising again, and of course, car prices are rising again as well. And we're going to be talking about the retail trading craze. Is it ending? All right, let's talk a little bit about futures update. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. When you thought it was safe to go back in the water, Omicron sticks its fake head up once again and ruins my fun in the stock market. Look, yesterday the Dow was down a lot. I mean, it got hammered. It was down 320 points. At one point, it was down 350 points. Of course, the S&P yesterday ended down 43 points, and the NASDAQ, wow, down 217 points. Look, right now, the futures, the Dow is up about 26 points. The S&P is down 5.5 points. And once again, the NASDAQ is down 70 points. So it's not that great. We'll have to see what's going to happen. And, of course, what do you think caused it? Well, here we go again. Oh, my. Oh my, oh my, someone died while being tested for Omicron. They had something wrong with them, and then they were tested positive for Omicron, and they died. Isn't that awful? That's what would make the entire stock market go down. Hide in your basements, wear your masks, wear your life preserver, because the world's coming to an end. Oh my goodness. All right, anyway, in the UK, the other useless idiot in charge, Boris Johnson, confirmed yesterday that at least one patient infected with the new Omicron variant of COVID-19 has died in the country. At least one. Really? Of course he had to say this next. So we think the idea, I don't know how to do a British accent, so we think the idea that this is somehow a milder version of the virus, I think that's something we need to set on one side and just recognize the sheer pace at which it accelerates to the population. So the best thing we could do is all get our boosters. Oh, let's get our booster right now. It's so important to get our boosters. Anyway, there it is. Get your booster. I told you this was going to happen. Moderna's stock was down to about $250, and voila! Now we have the Prime Minister saying, you better get your booster or you're going to die. This is the exact ignorance that has led us down the rabbit hole of COVID. Look, you better listen to your government or else. By the way, Moderna's stock was up about 15 points yesterday, right on cue. I know I'm not the only one who's realizing we're being played in this scamdemic, but I sure wish others would start stepping up. We finally get the dictator Wolf's mask mandate reversed in some of the local schools, and of course Mayor Kenny in Philadelphia punishes his people by requiring vaccine cards for all restaurants. And did you know that in California now you have to wear a mask everywhere you go? Hello, Republicans, this is unconstitutional. When are you going to file a lawsuit on this one? I guess they never will. Anyway, do you remember when you couldn't ask someone if they had AIDS or if they were exposed to someone who had AIDS? Look, this was the start of what's known as the HIPAA laws that protected people from being harassed, shamed, or discriminated against. Well, I guess the HIPAA laws were only protected for gays and not anyone else. Ugh. Anyway, as my good friend and producer always says, that's racist. When will the madness end? Of course, this one person who died of something while having COVID Omicron caused the stock market to tank along with all my travel stocks. and my account was ugly yesterday. I didn't even want to look. It was terrible. All right, I want to say hello to Tom. I want to say hello to Eric, and I want to say hello to some other people online. Thanks so much. All right, let's talk a little bit about Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Motor Trend named the all-new electric Rivian R1T the publication's 2020 Truck of the Year. And this beat out, of course, all the other pickups from Ford Motor, General Motors, and Hyundai. You know, the F-150 has always been the best one, and all of a sudden now it's the Rivian. But here you go. So the Golden Caliper Award, if you've ever seen it, it's actually a really cool award if you want to look it up. The Golden Caliper Award is awarded to the Truck of the Year each year, and of course they're highly sought after by automakers. You know, they used to promote vehicles. They use it actually to promote vehicles and advertising, and they're viewed as a third-party validation of a new vehicle. The company Rivian is a joint venture between Ford and Amazon, if you guys didn't know, and basically the idea is to build trucks for the public as well as Amazon. So they're going to build all these electric trucks for the public as well as Amazon. The first of these trucks were built in September, and apparently Motor Trend had a chance to test drive one. It's pretty awesome. Look, I've been saying this is a stock to invest in. I think Rivian is a great stock, RIVN, if you want to look for the symbol. I'm looking for a pullback, maybe about 90 before I jump in. Also, Motor Trend named the Lucid Air as Car of the Year. So if you want to take a look at Lucid's another stock, and the Genesis GV70 as the SUV of the year. And Lucid, of course, is a company that I think is going to have some legs. Look, if you want to get the symbol right, you have to get the symbol LCID, not the other company, because when you do a search on Lucid, you're going to come up with two companies. LCID is the car company. And Lucid is trading at about 39, and Rivian is trading at about 117. And I'm going to tell you right now, both are companies to watch. Ford stock dropped a bit on the news that the F-150 wasn't picked, but I don't think that's going to stay down much longer. And of course, when you get a chance, take a look at the Rivian truck. It's an F-150 with a slight style difference. I mean, after all, Ford is part of the company, and and even though they decided to not make the truck for Rivian anymore, I don't know if you guys read this, but in their plans they decided they're not going to make the truck anymore. But it still looks just like the F-150. So go right ahead. It's very interesting. Take a look at it. It's kind of a cool play. Kittens is saying there's some Kittens Online is saying, thank you, Kittens. She's saying that there's some videos of Rivian on YouTube, and you can take a look at it. It's actually a cool looking truck. So Apple, oh man, Apple's on fire, right? So I've been saying Apple stock is going to go to 200, and although it stalled out yesterday at about 175, it's headed to become a $3 trillion company. Now, I tell you, 2 years ago, there wasn't even a $1 trillion company, and all of a sudden, Apple's going to become a $3 trillion company. This stock is going to be a major player in the coming year, and it's got two new products. First of all, it's got the Apple Car, and of course, the augmented reality, virtual reality product. Now, you must understand that the metaverse is coming, and that's maybe Facebook's name for it. But augmented reality is everything, or everything that's going to be in the future. So the augmented reality product should show up sometime next year. I'm looking forward to that. By the way, I just got my Oculus yesterday. I know we talked about this last week. I ordered my Oculus. I got it yesterday. I'm going to start playing with it. I'll let you know what I think. Anyway, the stock itself has been mostly a sideways trade and didn't move much last year, and it finally gained some momentum this last quarter. Look, I think it's a great play for a stock right now, but as a call option, I'd really like to see it. I'd really like to see it go down to the 150s. That would be awesome if it can go down to 150s, and it's possible. We'll talk about how and why in a little while. All right, let's talk a little bit about Hawaii real estate. Hey, are you ready to move to paradise? If you've ever wanted to pack it all up and move to Hawaii, you're going to pay a huge price tag for the luxury homes. For the first 3 quarters of this year, home values at $3 million or more saw sales volume rising 235%. That's right, homes selling for $3 million or more, wow, saw sales volume rise 235% compared with the same period from last year. And looking, sales volume hit a record-breaking $3.7 billion, according to a report. Sales of home prices above $10 million have also climbed at an even faster and breaking all records. It's amazing. So driving up the prices are things like the general economy and pent-up demand. Some are also moving there just to get away from the idea of having to travel for vacation and instead are staycationing. And this makes total sense to me because I can't stand this whole mask thing. Look, have you ever been to Hawaii? Hey, if so, let me if you've actually been to Hawaii, let me know in the comments and let me know what your favorite island is. I've been thinking about a deal I had 3 years ago to buy a house there, and man, I passed on it, and I wish I didn't. I can only imagine what that house is worth today. It's probably about $2 million plus. It would have been an awesome deal. All right, let's talk a little bit about Harley Davidson and their electric bikes. So Harley Davidson is by far the most popular motorcycle manufacturer. However, Harley Davidson has a major problem. Their base of loyal customers, like me, is either growing too old to ride or frankly dying off. So the baby boomers were Harley's bread and butter the last 20 years, and it's not really happening anymore. And in the turn of the century, about 20 years ago, motorcycle riding became a huge demand among us boomers. They have made some of the fastest, biggest, and funnest bikes, but now they're moving into a newer and very different market. The market of course, electric bikes, right? So Livewire is the name of the division that Harley launched a couple of years ago to introduce the electric motorcycle to the public, and they figured they would use their large network of stores, and it worked, right? But Livewire is now going to separate from the Harley Davidson main company and form its own company with the name, guess what? Livewire. So Harley Davidson will actually remain 74% ownership of the company. And by the way, the symbol for Livewire will be LWW, and they're expected to sell about 101,000 electric bikes by 2026. Look, I don't know about you, but part of the fun of a motorcycle and the thrill of it all is the horsepower between your legs. Look, of course, the other thrill is the sound Harley Davidson makes as it goes by. This sound was actually rumored to be patented by Harley Davidson at one point. Well, I guess the new generation of tree huggers and men in dresses are going to start to approach. This company may be successful, I don't know. But as for me, it reminds me of the days of the mopeds in the late 70s. Anybody remember riding a moped in the late 70s, or what the people looked like riding a moped in the 70s? Ugh. Everyone had these yellow mopeds, and they all ran on gas and pedal power. Yuck. Ugh. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And hey, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. And of course, I want to thank all my listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. If you're watching online, please hit the share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. Hit that like button and let me know you're enjoying the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll try to respond live. I want to give a shout out to Tommy. I want to give a shout out to Horace and Jose. Thanks for listening. And I appreciate you guys. It's awesome. All right, cool. So let's talk a little bit about this. Hey, we've been discussing, of course, the futures update, and the Dow is actually up 19 points. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting day. The S&P is down 5.5 points, and the NASDAQ is down 70 points. All right, we also talked about the fact that, oh my God, somebody actually died from Omicron. Oh, it's so terrible. And then we talked about Motor Trend picking Rivian over as the number one truck, that is. We talked about, of course, Apple becoming a $3 trillion company, and of course, Hawaii real estate prices and Harley Davidson electric bikes. We're going to be talking about, coming up, we're going to be talking about rents skyrocketing, and of course, the retail trading craze, and what's going on with that too. And also cars increasing as well. All right, let's get to the second half of the show, and let's start with the most important thing, rent increases. Yeah, I like rent increases. So here it comes. Here comes more rent increases. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, across the country, rent just keeps going up. I've personally seen the rents of my rental properties hit some crazy numbers recently. I mean, I would put stuff up for rent that, I don't know, maybe $300 or $400 more than I rented it for last year, and I've had people fighting over it. It's amazing. So part of the reason that rents started going up is partly to blame by, of course, the scamdemic and the government overreach. Because of this, many people are now working from home. And what used to be areas that were in lower demand because of became high demand when companies moved their headquarters to smaller areas. And basically, these companies are starting to realize that workers can work from home. You know, we talked about this yesterday. They're going to be on the metaverse. They're going to be wearing their Oculus and being in meetings in the same room with somebody. It's going to be really weird. Anyway, supply and demand is also becoming an issue, and there are less and less available units for rent as many people are afraid to basically move out of their current rental for the fear that they will even pay higher or have to move into a smaller place. I got people coming to me and I'm like, look, I raised your rent $100. And they say, well, you know, I'm going to leave. I'm like, okay. And they don't because they know. All right. Anyway, we went from fear of tenants not being able to pay to rents that are increasing off the chart. So it's going to be a good year for you guys who held out in the real estate business. Hey, look, we'll see what happens in the future. It's possible we're going to see some rent control or possibly more buildings of multi-unit housing. Look, personally, I believe this trend is going to reverse in the next 3 years, and rents are going to start to pull back a little bit. But I'm going to tell you right now, positioning yourself in a multi-unit, low housing project or any other investment like that will prove to be prudent. I know Phil and I, my partner and I, we're starting to move into other directions. We're starting to move into low-income housing because we know that that's coming. Hey, I want to say hello to Steve. Hey, Steve, thanks for watching on YouTube. I really appreciate it. All right, let's talk a little bit about car prices. I hope you don't need a car this winter because the prices of cars are going crazy right now. Most dealerships are very low on inventory, and the supply chain and chip shortage issue is showing no sign of changing this problem. So it's going to continue, right? Did you remember, you guys remember, I love doing this, right? Going to a car dealer and negotiating their price from the window sticker? Well, check this out. In November, nearly 87% of all new vehicles bought by individual customers sold at or above the sticker price. And this was according to J.D. Power. So most of the cars are selling, 87% of cars are selling at or above the sticker price. That number is up 75% from the halfway point of the year and well above the pre-scamdemic average of 36%. So basically, they're saying that, look, if you're going to a car dealer now, you're not going to negotiate the price of how low you can go off the sticker. It's going to be how much over the sticker price you're going to pay, not under it. Oof. All right, how about this statistic? The average price paid for a vehicle, like a brand new vehicle, is $44,000 for the last 2 months. And that figure's up $10,000 increase from the average price paid for a new vehicle before the scamdemic and government overreach. Look, I recently sold one of my cars. It was a Corvette, and I sold it for $10,000 more than I bought it for 3 years ago. So think about that. I actually sold the car for $10,000. I got to drive it for 3 years, and I sold it for $10,000 more than I bought it for 3 years ago. The interesting part is I sold it to a dealer who's going to sell it to someone else and make money on that as well. Look, my suggestion, if you guys have a lease and you have a lease expiring shortly, buy that vehicle. Your residual price is going to be much lower than the price you would buy a new car for. So that's definitely the way to go. Hey, I want to say hello to Vincenzo. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it as well. Also, all right, look, for the rest of you who are thinking about or need a new car this year, buy an asset like real estate to pay for that car. That's what I do. I buy real estate with no money out of my pocket, and I use the rent profits to pay for items like cars. So effectively, it costs me nothing. I let my tenants pay for it. You should, by the way, if you want to learn how to do this, go to Investor Schooling, find out how you can do it. And seriously, I'm serious. Go to Investor Schooling right now and learn. All right, let's talk a little bit about retail trading craze ending and the whole concept of the meme stocks. So there's been a long time urban legend that I talk about often, and I find it hysterical. So it's about a man, and sometimes the man is Rockefeller, other times it's Carnegie, and sometimes it's even Charles Schwab. It depends on who tells the story. But anyway, the story that I tell involves Rockefeller, and he was, at the time, he was one of the richest men in the 1920s, and he was getting his shoes shined, and of course the young man shining his shoes had no idea who he was, but he starts talking to him. So as Rockefeller sat there, the shoe shine boy started to tell Rockefeller about the stocks the shoe shine boy was buying and how he was going to be a millionaire. Well, Rockefeller scratched his head and like, how can this shoeshine boy know anything about the stock market? And he was right. And that day, Rockefeller realized that if the average shoeshine boy was buying up stocks without any knowledge or education on the matter, it was time for Rockefeller to sell everything. And then the legend goes on. It says that shortly after, the stock market crashed and the Great Depression was upon the country. Well, have you noticed it's appearing again? We've had a bunch of traders gambling their paychecks on what's called meme stocks for the past 2 years. These stocks went to crazy highs for absolutely no reason. Look, some of the lucky ones cashed out, but others held on as they saw their life savings of 2 paychecks become nothing. So the meme stocks like GameStop and AMC, Beyond Meat, and others are tanking. Also, these same players are the ones who, guess what? They're investing, or should I say gambling, in cryptocurrencies. All of this makes me have an uneasy feeling as we go into the new year. Look, you know, in this segment and the last segment, I talked about real estate investing and stocks. Get a good education on both, and you could find out how to get a good education on both by listening to this next commercial about investor schooling. I'm going to tell you this is the place to go, and you will learn how to do this correctly.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can, of course, go to investorschooling.com, or you can call 866-424-2829 and find out more. All right, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the Dow is down 18 points, the S&P is down 11 points, and the NASDAQ is down 87 points. I'm worried about today a little bit. Anyway, we talked about the fact that, oh my God, somebody in the UK died of Omicron. Anyway, I'm sorry about for the family. I'm not making fun of the family. I'm making fun of the fact that, yeah, no kidding. All right. We also talked about Motor Trend picking Rivian as the number one truck. Yeah. We talked about Apple hitting $3 trillion. All right. I'm gonna stop speaking like if I'm having trouble. All right, we talked about Hawaii real estate prices, the Harley-Davidson electric bikes, and of course rent rising again, and the fact that car prices are insane. All right, so coming up is today's picks and plays. But first, hey, did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you hit that share button yet? Come on, Vincent. Come on, Vincenzo, hit that like buttons. Come on, kittens, hit that like buttons. Come on, Tommy, hit that like button. And Tommy's telling me that he's a big electric fan. He actually ordered the Ford Lightning truck. All right, cool. All right, let everybody know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. And of course, you could share on your page or in groups that you will feel will benefit from great stock plays. So hit that share button, not just on your page, but in some groups as well. And of course, you can leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And if you're listening to WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. And hey, I'm certainly entertaining, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about what's going on today. So, yesterday should have been a kind of a mild trading day, but then, of course, the never-ending story of COVID ruined any hopes of normalcy once again. Have you noticed that COVID, Omicron, pandemic, or any of these other new words that you've been exposed to in the last 2 years is no longer the first story on the news? Remember I used to go, hi, this is the news, and COVID deaths this year were blah, 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 blah. Well, now it's starting to end. Now it's like the 4th or 5th or 6th story. Maybe, just maybe, this madness will end soon. Look, I really hope it does. It'll give, and if it does, maybe it'll give us some kind of boost by the end of the stock market rally. because it's going to take a turn soon because of all the shoe shiners, as we talked about before. So I'm going to say, get in, do what you got to do. All right, yesterday the big mover was Moderna. I wonder how that happened. Yep, I said this last week. Wait for Moderna to go down, and there will be a bad news article on COVID, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Hey, here's another thing. Pfizer also hit a new 52-week high. And by the way, they just announced that they have it's a treatment for COVID. So even if you're vaccinated, not vaccinated, or whatever, it most likely you just take this pill or shot or whatever it is, and you won't be in the hospital is basically what they're saying. It's pretty cool. I don't have the information sort of coming across. I don't have it all right now, but I will definitely report on it tomorrow. And Apple, as we said before, is struggling to become a $3 trillion company, and it missed that by just a small number yesterday. And I'm going to say this will probably happen by the end of the year. And I might even be the catalyst for the Santa Claus rally that I'm looking for. All right, I also look forward to more choppiness as the governments use the scary Omicron variant to continue to manipulate the population. And hey, don't forget to pre-order my book. My book is called Money Hacks, and the subtitle is called Because Everything You Think You Know About Money Is Wrong. Look for this book, and you can pre-order it, of course, on Barnes & Noble. Take a look at it. You should definitely enjoy it. Crypto is moving down, as I said before, and Bitcoin is right around 48,000, and Ethereum is hovering about 38,000, and it looks like, again, the entire crypto market is on its way down. I have a feeling the shoeshine boys are just not going to make out this year. All right, gold and silver has also completely stalled. I still think they're plays, so if you want to buy physical gold and silver, I definitely would do that. We're also awaiting the results of the Fed meeting today. Now, we probably won't hear about that today, but it's pretty obvious that they're going to be, raising interest rates. So expect the Treasury bond to move up, and of course the tech stocks to move down. So it may be a bad day for tech stocks while this is all happening. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio, and we look forward to your continued support. Don't forget to hit that to save this station on your radio so you can listen tomorrow again at 7:30. And if you're online watching live on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube, I want to thank you for your continued support. Even, I got to tell you, everybody here is watching, and I really appreciate it. Lewis, I want to say thank you again. And he asked me real quick about the book. It should be out in June, but I will have physical copies of it in July. Don't forget to like the Money Chat Now page. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and have a profitable day.